covering the October issue of Rolling Stone, speaking in depth for the first time about the past 3 years of her life.
Emphasis on in depth.
And there's a lot that happened in the last 3 years of her life.
There's a lot happening on this cover. I mean, look at the colorful Taylor Swift. This is the cover star for Rolling Stone, but it's inside the mag too, guys, where she is not only vibrant and rocking the braids, but she's getting so candid about many things. Least of not which, reopening that Kanye West wound. Now, I know it feels like we've been down this road and we've rehashed this, but I feel like this is the most savage and most candid and honest she's been about Kanye.
And I know that people, like our producer Brianna in the control room, are sick of hearing her talk about the same things like Kanye West and Scooter Braun, which we'll get into. But you know what? I will say before we even dive into any of this, some wounds are very deep, and time does not heal all wounds.
Plus,
and people grieve in the way that they want to grieve. If it means being silent or talking about it in Rolling Stone, to each their own.
And here's what she's telling Rolling Stone about Ye, because there's some expletives, all right? She calls Kanye two-faced, saying that he wants to be nice to me behind the scenes, but then he wants to look cool, get up in front of everyone and talk ish. This is in regards to the infamous, famous phone call where Kanye claimed that he asked Taylor permission to use her name in Famous.
I mean, she also even brings it back to the 2015 VMAs scenario with Kanye too, calling him two-faced for that because I'll try to make this short and clear and concise, but if you remember, Kanye had apparently called Taylor and personally asked her, hey, I want you to be the one that, gives the speech beforehand and gives me the award. Right. And then what ended up happening, which she details to Rolling Stone, is he got up there to receive the award, and he goes, MTV got Taylor involved in this for ratings, blah, blah, blah.
But she claims he asked.
But she claims that he asked, which is why she's calling him two-faced, saying that, you do one thing on the phone and then you do something else to be all cool.
Which is so funny because she did throw some minor shade at Kanye when she was telling Rolling Stone that that there was a phone call where he asked.
Yeah,
she says, I didn't illegally record it, so I can't play it for you. So there she's like, I don't have the receipts to prove to you that Kanye asked me to present him with the Vanguard Award because I didn't illegally record it.
Brianna, our producer in the control room, what are your thoughts on these comments on Kanye?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like if it really is upsetting you that much, like, why are you still talking about it? That's my whole thing. It's like, it's been 10 years since the first incident. It's been, how long has it been? It's been like a year or a couple of years since, like, the phone call incident.
Right, just about 3 years.
Yeah, so it's like, why are we still talking about it? It's not like Kanye's still going around talking about Taylor. Like, no, he's trying to do his gospel thing. He's got his Sunday service going. He's chilling. But it's just weird to me that Taylor keeps bringing up old stuff. It's like, why are you bringing up old things that the door has closed on?
I will say, again, sometimes time doesn't heal all wounds, but also when you're doing a cover like Rolling Stone, I mean, one of the most iconic music magazines ever, the journalist behind that article is going to ask you about certain things that inspired big moments in your career, like the entire Reputation era. I mean, obviously you can't talk about Reputation without bringing up the past and, how that has influenced it.
And it's like, it's also been a decade long. It's been 10 years. Maybe it's just Rolling Stone teeing up the question, because obviously it's the anniversary. It's a milestone, really, in pop culture. And to be fair, it really has set, I don't want to say the tone, but it really kind of was a defining moment in both of their careers, and it's followed them everywhere, so it's kind of hard to ignore. And also, she did say, though, that once she heard Famous, his song in 2016 where he name checks her, that's when she was like, okay, she thought they were on good terms.
Yeah.
She heard the song, and that's when she was like, I'm done with Kanye West.
She said, if you want to be on bad terms, let's be on bad terms, but her biggest thing is let's just be real about it.
Which I think explains why she's talking about it now. She's like, let's be real about it. I don't get along with this guy.
Maybe, I don't know. I just think it's weird. It's like, if you're going to say like, oh, Kanye didn't make me famous, I made myself famous, but then you're constantly bringing up this issue with Kanye over and over again. It's kind of weird. It's like, if you want to stand firm in yourself and like, masterminding your career from when you were young, like you said, then like, just talk about yourself. Like, you don't need to bring up old stuff.
And to be fair, she does use her music to kind of like point at it too, and maybe that's enough, because you guys will remember and Look What You Made Me Do, the whole I'm sorry the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now because she's dead was kind of a pointed message and response to the phone call that he recorded and Kim eventually shared.
There it is right there if you can hear it.
Right.
A little bit better than Jenny.
I was going to say, I really didn't sell it, but you guys remember the lyric.
But it's interesting because Taylor did open up about kind of what the inspiration behind that was. And to be honest, I had no idea, but it actually does go back to the whole Kanye West drama. She said, it was a fun moment in the studio with me and Jack, Antonoff of course, where I wanted to play on the idea of a phone call. Because that's how all of this started. A stupid phone call I shouldn't have picked up. And I, like, literally looking back on it now, it's almost like full circle as like a Taylor Swift fan. To hear her tell Rolling Stone that, I'm like, oh, that's what that was about.
I kind of had a feeling, because that whole Reputation era, I feel like, especially that lead single, Look What You Made Me Do, I'm like, oh, this is about Kim and Kanye.
Yeah.
Okay? So they might have not buried the hatchet, but as we all know, Taylor and Katy have, and Taylor is still talking about. Excuse me, I almost jumped the gun.
I know we're not there
I
yet.
want to talk about Katy Perry.
Because there's still a little bit of bad blood.
That's true.
Before we get to the reconnecting.
It's all the revelations from this feature. I can't get enough.
Like I said, you guys, time clearly does not heal all wounds because Taylor is still talking about the Scott Borchetta, Scooter Braun drama that unfolded over the summer. If you guys remember, I mean, we had a whole episode of the Downlow dedicated to talking about this mess.
We'll link to it.
But late in June, Taylor Swift had called out Scooter Braun for purchasing her former record label, Scott Borchetta's Big Machine Records, and basically the reported $300 million deal gives Scooter Braun ownership of a majority of Swift's masters, which of course she was very upset with because she claimed that Scooter had been bullying her for years, and she's not done talking about it.
No, in fact, she says that she feels like Scott Borchetta and Big Machine Records actually betrayed her because of this deal. She tells Rolling Stone, quote, I thought I knew what betrayal felt like, but this stuff that happened with him was a redefinition of betrayal for me just because it felt like it was family. To go from feeling like you're being looked at as a daughter to this grotesque feeling of, oh, I was actually his prize calf that he was fattening up to sell to the slaughterhouse that would pay the most. That quote is
the most.
That, I mean, again, didn't I tell you Taylor was really candid and honest in this?
Very honest. She even talked about how she felt like Scott Borchetta had stifled her creativity, basically saying she did almost everything herself. She said, quote, a lot of the best things I ever did creatively were things that I had to really fight, and I mean aggressively fight, to have happen. And obviously, you know, she does say in the quote that you had just read, Denny, that she felt like a daughter to him. I mean, this is a relationship that goes back to the beginning of her career. So yes, I could understand how she felt betrayed, especially if, and we don't have confirmation on this, if it appears as what she claims is that she had no idea any of this was going on behind her back.
And like she said that she does feel like she was stifled creatively by Scott, and there were other things that she just didn't want to be a part of because of the association with Scooter Braun. So you guys will remember there were reports that she had declined to participate in the Manchester benefit with Ariana Grande, the March for Our Lives demonstration, things that are seemingly positive that a lot of artists were throwing their support at. But she says, quote, here's the thing, everyone in my team knew if Scooter Braun brings us something, do not bring it to me. The fact that those two are in business together, after the things he said about Scooter Braun, it's a shock to me.
And this was utterly shocking. Again, with the utterly, sorry, bad joke with the cow, the calf. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna move on from that.
Thank you for finding that, though.
Yes. You know, obviously with that quote in particular, that one, I kind of opened my eyes a little bit because it's interesting to see that, you know, maybe she was not aware of these things because she gave her team, as she says, a stern warning, don't even bring them to me. It's just not even an option. It's not even an option.
Also, to be fair, I don't think it's an option to tell her that they're going to sell Big Machine.
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying.
To Scooter Braun, you know, although Scott claims that her dad knew, you know.
This is probably one of my favorite parts of the article, though. I will say she throws a little shade at this photo shoot that Scott and Scooter ended up happening in, one shot in particular, which we're going to get to in a second. She says, these are two very, very rich, powerful men using $300 million of other people's money to purchase, like, the most feminine body of work. And then, if we can bring up the next photo in here, and then they're standing in a wood panel bar doing a tacky photo shoot, raising a glass of scotch to themselves because they pulled one over on me and got this done so sneakily that I didn't even see it coming, and I couldn't say anything about it. And you guys, that was a direct quote from Taylor Swift herself in Rolling Stone about Scott and Scooter's relationship.
She kind of has a point. There's something greasy about that photo shoot. I don't know, maybe because...
Cheers! It's like the scene in Titanic. We are masters of the universe, or world, or whatever.
You down there, there's us. Yeah, it's really silly, actually. Something tells me, like the Kanye feud, we're probably going to be hearing a lot about this over the next year or so. I'm sure Brianna can't wait. But
yeah, I mean, this one makes more sense because it's a recent thing that's been going on. Yeah, and it's something that she's still dealing with to this day. So for her to speak on that, I get it.
And soon she will re-record her master. That's what she said. But you know, on the flip side, y'all, there's no more bad blood, apparently, when it comes to Katy Perry. Taylor opens up about reconnecting with Katy and all is right in the world, question mark?
Basically, yes, female empowerment.
For now.
Women supporting women.
Yeah.
But basically, to kind of give you a brief history of the alleged feud between Katy Perry and Taylor Swift, because again, it was never confirmed that the two were fighting, but you know, rumors started circling back in 2013 that the two were kind of in a little bit of a beef because apparently some dancers were poached from underneath Taylor Swift to go dance for Katy Perry.
Right, and then since then, as you guys remember, this is where we really were like, oh, there's something going on between them. There is a little, their friendship is deteriorating. I'm so shook.
Like your ability to speak.
I can't even speak, but they can though, because they did it in Bad Blood and Swish Swish with some very pointed messages at each other. But as we've learned, apparently they have squashed it, and Taylor actually opens up about them reconnecting and what that was like. Apparently it was all about miscommunication. She says,
I literally was just about to say that.
Right? We were talking about how we've had miscommunications with people in the past, not even specifically with each other. She goes on to say, she's like, Katy says, I'm a Scorpio. Scorpios just strike when they feel threatened. And I was like, well, I'm an Archer. I see what you did there. We literally stand back, assess the situation, process how we feel about it, raise a bow, pull it back, and fire. Okay, and catnip.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get it.
She goes on to say, as an example of how Taylor deals with issues, she goes back to that 2009 VMA moment with Kanye West. She reminds us, if you look, I froze. She says that's how I process. There's nothing I can do in that moment. I just freeze. But bygones be bygones.
But I feel like it's one of those situations, again, it's miscommunication, and I feel like it was perpetuated by the entire internet chiming in, pitting two very powerful women against each other. But it's like one of those situations in high school where you hear about something happening to you that actually maybe didn't really happen or whatnot, and you don't have the whole story.
Because no one's dealing with it.
And no one's dealing with it directly. Again, miscommunication. But at the end of the day, you know, things seem to be good because, as you guys know, Katy Perry appeared in Taylor Swift's recent music video for You Need to Calm Down. And telling all the haters, you need to calm down.
And I can already sense it from Brianna. Yes, how long are we going to talk about this feud? Well, you know what? A little bit longer, B, because Katy appeared on Ellen, which was the first time, I think, that she actually addressed them squashing this beef on camera. Take a look.
I'm very happy that you and Taylor Swift got over your feud.
Yes, we made amends.
Yeah, I don't even know what the feud was about. I know there was a feud, and then it was over.
It was actually just a misunderstanding, but, you know, we have such big groups of people that like to follow us, and so they kind of started turning against each other a little bit, too, and it was really unfortunate, but we made amends, and I'm all about redemption and forgiveness and for setting an example for those younger people that it can be cool to, you know, ask for forgiveness and, like, confront someone that you may have an issue with or a problem with and talk it out.
Yes! Peace at last!
Oh my God, we're here
with some cookies.
Kanye, you can take note. Where you at, Kim?
I don't think she don't want no chocolate chip cookies from Kanye.
You don't want to see Kim and Kanye in the music video for Cruel Summer?
You guys, listen.
Trying to make it work.
Listen, Taylor Swift talked about everything and anything in this Rolling Stone article. Kanye West, Scooter and Scott, Katy Perry, and also Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. On a lighthearted note, you guys, apparently Taylor Swift is a huge lover of dragons.
and a super fan for the show. And like many of you fans, including Brianna, she has thoughts on the finale, but it was actually positive. She was basically saying that no matter what would have happened in the finale, people still would have been really upset because of the fact that it's over. It's like a breakup. Your favorite TV show, no matter how it played out, people were going to be upset. Brianna, do you agree with her?
I don't agree. And that's like, and it's not just because it's Taylor, because that's what a lot of people have said. And I really wasn't upset because it was over. It was just because it was bad. But people don't want to pretend like, oh, it's just because it ended. No.
But don't
it's just because it wasn't written well.
But don't you appreciate her loyalty, though?
I
like,
do. Oh, yeah.
She watched this entire series, so she was like, she believes that no matter what, she would have been upset.
When Rolling Stone said that they were going to talk to her about everything in the past 3 years of her life, they were not kidding. Everything. What I found so interesting is that Taylor Swift actually likens herself to the mother of dragons, Daenerys, and she says, I specifically really related to Daenerys' storyline because for me it portrayed that it is a lot easier for a woman to attain power than to maintain it.
She goes on to say, the times when I thought I was going insane was when I was trying to maintain my career in the same way that I ascended. She said that, you know, the music industry and we all love new female artists because we know how they got there, we know their success. But to maintain it, be at the top level, it's a little harder.
This is the BFF
without turning evil
duo that I never knew I needed. Sorry, Carly Kloss.
Yeah.
Amelia Clark is stepping in. Y'all can walk on Cornelia Street now together and whatnot. That'd be a great little powerful duo.
Taylor should be the mother of dragons for Halloween. I'm just going to throw that out there as an option.
Oh, she should. Wow, manifest that, Jenny.
All right, guys, it is time for our MVP, the most viral post. And of course, it's been a minute since we talked about Chrissy Teigen on the download, at least for MVP.
You guys, this is one of my favorite internet stories of the week. So basically, Chrissy Teigen had accidentally posted her email address, which we've seen her do before. Remember when she posted a photo of her dog in her cookbook with her phone number on 100%. it? Yeah, this time it was her email address, which, you know, you would think that people would actually email you. No, because in this day and age with Apple iPhones, your email address to FaceTime someone is all you need. So this is what happened when the internet got a hold of Chrissy Teigen's email address.
Hello, sir.
Hello, my name's Ricardo.
Hi, Ricardo. Nice to meet you.
I'm Pepper.
This is my mom.
Hi, Chrissy's mom. How you doing?
Thanks for following me.
How are you guys doing?
We're good. We're about to eat dinner, but just thought we'd answer one of these. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'll let you go.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Two things. One, only Chrissy Teigen would actually answer the FaceTime. Two, that stranger, step it up, man. You're talking to Chrissy Teigen. Pepper, Ty too. I have so many questions for them, and you're just like, I'm gonna let them go.
But here's the thing: one FaceTime turned into many, which Chrissy documented in a Twitter thread. I mean, she literally she had given up at that point. That's her just laying on her couch,
stop. I have a family.
listening to her computer just ring and ring and ring. People are trying to FaceTime her. I'm not gonna lie, I would too. I'd be like, girl, we gotta cook together. I'm hungry.
Listen, she tweeted everything's disabled and changed emails, but I do love you guys and thank you for the kind words. Brianna, I'm gonna put you on the spot. If you could FaceTime Chrissy Teigen, what's the one thing you would ask her, or what would you say to her?
I don't know. I'd ask her for recipes, honestly.
Okay.
I think. I'd probably be cooking and be like, can you please tell me what to put in this meal?
I'd ask her to babysit.
You'd ask her to babysit? I would ask her, can we get a drink? Can I come over for some wine? I'll bring the wine.
Okay.
I want dinner. Cook me. I have a lot of questions for her. There's a lot of things I want to do. I want to hang out with Chrissy Teigen. That's all I want to do.
What's John really like?
Ooh, is John there? Can he sing us a song? See? It's like, can I see? Ooh, can you bring the Oscar? Show us the Oscar. I want to see the Oscar. Okay, I stand the legends. All right.
Oh, you guys, that is a wrap for us here on The Download. For more episodes of The Download, you can check us out on YouTube/ETLive.
Also, all of our episodes are streaming. You guys can follow and download the ETLive app. Also, we're on Roku.
Yeah.
Hello.
Apple TV, all of it. That's how I watch. I go home, and then I watch us. I swear I'm not a narcissist, but I go home on my Apple TV, I get my ETLive app, I click it, and then I watch us on the big screen.
I was just about to say that.
On the
big screen, guys. You're not going to miss it.
We look better in high definition.
See you tomorrow.